dead internet theory. It was the year 2050, and the world was in chaos. The once reliable internet, the backbone of modern society, had stopped working. Not just slow, not just glitchy, but completely and utterly dead. At first, people thought it was just a temporary outage, a minor hiccup that would be fixed in a few hours, a few days at most. But as the hours turned into days and the days turned into weeks, it became clear that something was very, very wrong. Theories abounded. Some said it was a cyber attack, the most sophisticated and devastating in history. Others claimed it was a natural phenomenon, a solar flare or geomagnetic storm that had fried the internet's delicate infrastructure. But one group of researchers, led by the brilliant and reclusive Dr. Rachel Kim, had a different explanation. They believed that the internet had simply reached the end of its natural lifespan. The internet, Dr. Kim argued, was not a static entity, but a living, breathing organism. It had grown and evolved over the years, adapting to new technologies and new demands. But like all living things, it was subject to the forces of entropy and decay. As the internet grew, it had become increasingly complex, a tangled web of connections and dependencies. It was only a matter of time, Dr. Kim said, before it reached a point of critical mass where the weight of its own complexity became too much to bear. And so, the internet had died. The implications were staggering. Without the internet, global commerce ground to a halt. Banks were unable to process transactions, supply chains were disrupted, and trade came to a standstill. Communication was limited to face-to-face interactions, or at most, traditional phone calls and snail mail. Governments, realizing the gravity of the situation, scrambled to find a solution. But Dr. Kim's team had bad news. There was no fixing the internet. It was gone, and it wasn't coming back. As the world struggled to adapt to this new reality, strange things began to happen. Without the constant hum of the internet, people started to notice things they had never noticed before. The sound of birds chirping, the smell of fresh-cut grass, the feel of the sun on their skin. It was as if the death of the internet had awakened something deep within humanity. People started to connect with each other on a deeper level, forming communities and bonds that didn't rely on Wi-Fi signals and fiber optic cables. In the end, the death of the internet turned out to be a blessing in disguise. It forced humanity to reevaluate its priorities, to remember what was truly important. And as people looked up from their screens, they saw a world that was more beautiful, more vibrant,